Releasing on 9/9/99 in the West, the Dreamcast was Sega's last gasp at being a major player in the console space here in North America. And with a feature set years ahead of its time and a development system that was actually easy to make games for, it seemed that Sega was set up for a major comeback.
Sales that are expected to bring in $45 million, and that's just today. Dreamcast will bring in more in one day than even the hit movie Star Wars: The Phantom Menace made on its opening day.
After the relative failures of the 32X and the Saturn in the West, Sega gave us the tagline of "It's thinking" when talking about the Dreamcast. And they took a bold leap forward and released the first ever console with an integrated modem. Yeah, it was only 56K, but that's still more than we had ever had before.
Sega Dreamcast, wired to the net by AT&T.
Brought online gameplay into the living room via a video game console for the first time ever, and it also brought home hardware that was similar to the Sega Naomi board for the arcade machines, giving us a nearly one-to-one arcade experience on our couches.
Game rated T for teen.
Yeah, I'm here for my life.
Get behind that yellow line!
Yeah, I know lights.
And while it's a console that many think fondly of, it wasn't without its issues. A GD-ROM drive instead of a DVD drive meant that piracy ran rampant on the console. You could just rip a disc onto your hard drive and then burn it for a friend, and then they could have a copy of that game as well. And it completely hamstrung the console when compared to the PS2, which had a DVD drive out of the gate. It was the cheapest DVD player on the market, and you could play PS2 games on it. How could it fail? There was limited third-party support for the Dreamcast, and despite initial success at launch, the specter of that PlayStation 2 completely undercut the Dreamcast's success. But the system remains beloved, and it wasn't without its share of incredible games. With a library of over 600 titles worldwide, people, myself included, look back at its history wistfully and celebrate the console. The website JoeBlow.com did an article looking back at the console and gave what they feel are their top 10 games of the console's lifespan. They tend to do things a little bit differently than me. They drop things into different categories. Here's their top 10. First up, we have Ikaruga as their best shmup at number 10. Cannon Spike was the best shoot 'em up, which makes me wonder what their definition is there, because a shmup and a shoot 'em up are the same thing, right? Shenmue was the best open world. Quake 3 Arena was the best arena shooter, and if I'm remembering the library correctly, it might be the only arena shooter on the console. Resident Evil Code Veronica was their best survival horror game. Jet Set Radio was best vibes, whatever that means. Crazy Taxi was the best score attack. Power Stone, best environmental-based fighting game. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the best tag team fighting game. And best overall went to Soul Calibur. I dig their system. I like the way that they do things over there, but having a category of best vibes really stuck out like a sore thumb to me, and then also having best shmup and best shoot 'em up, I don't know. I look at it overall as something where I'm like, while I dig what they're doing, not necessarily how I would have done it. So, yes, we're going to be doing what I feel are the top 10 greatest Dreamcast games of all time, the ones I think are can't misses, and of course, because it's me, I can never do just 10, so there's going to be some honorable mentions as well. Let's kick it.
Just going to run through my honorable mentions real quick. Up first, Project Justice. I love this series. This is from the Rival Schools series. This is a Capcom 3D fighter. Basically a simple arena fighter, a little bit like Battle Arena to Shinden. Just a really solid game, really clever characters, really fun mechanics in it as well. Just across the board, a really solid game to play. King of Fighters 99 is up next. Pretty much anything from SNK in that era I'm going to be putting on a top list in some way, shape, or form. It just so happens that the top 10 on the Dreamcast is spectacular, so this one doesn't quite crack it. Still love it, though. Still excellent. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, you can't go wrong with any version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It's a fantastic franchise. It's a storied franchise for a reason, and this is one of my favorites. Gunbird 2, either one, Gunbird or Gunbird 2 are great. I'm not huge into shmups because I'm not good at them, but I do like Gunbird 2 quite a bit, and I think it's a very... it's a cute 'em up, kind of like Cotton is, where it's a little less serious than something like Ikaruga, which, while brilliant, is not something I'm good at or truly find myself investing a ton of time into, just because it's really hard. And then finally, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which one of the best 2D fighters ever made, and just a brilliant animation system, and just really showed what Capcom was great at with making 2D fighters at that time. It's a magnificent title, and it's something where I think on another day, if I was doing this video, this probably would have cracked the top 10, but it doesn't quite get there today. While the Dreamcast didn't have a huge library of role-playing games, I think the ones that really made their mark on the console were spectacular. My favorite of which is Skies of Arcadia, which to me is one of the greatest unrealized franchises ever made. This was something that I thought was going to spin off and just be an absolute massive hit for Sega. And instead what we got was this original one and then the remaster on the GameCube, and that's it. That's all we got. That's no more. That's all you get. It is a brilliant game, though. One of the absolute strongest titles on the Dreamcast. A brilliant story, fantastic character work, just a wonderful, like, top-to-bottom experience, just from an external view, like, not even looking at the gameplay factors yet, but just from an external view, this was something that really showed strong storytelling and good character development, which made the game really appealing and really made me want to keep playing it and keep going forward with it. But when you actually get into the gameplay elements of it, this was an early 3D RPG, so a little bit like some Dragon Quest games that we're seeing in modern days. But it's a little different too. It's not just traditional turn-based combat, because you are able to move around in 3D space during battles where you're going to be moving and positioning yourself. So it's a little bit like Final Fantasy XII in that regard. It's not so locked down where, you know, you're locked out from attacking certain characters, or a little bit like the Trails of Cold Steel series. It's a really, really lovely game though, with some really fun exploration and just a brilliant setup from top to bottom. I think this is one of the stronger RPGs out there that unfortunately just doesn't get the love it deserves, because, like I said, we had 2 entries, and one was a remake of the original. So, unfortunately, this is where we're at, and I wish we had more of it, but to start things off with Skies of Arcadia, it's a pretty good start.
That wasn't so bad.
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go.
When it comes to games that are signature Dreamcast experiences or signature Naomi board experiences, that would be really hard to look past Crazy Taxi, which to me is just what a perfect experience. Fantastic arcade action at home, on your couch, brilliant soundtrack, fun gameplay, everyone understands how you play it, it's not difficult to grasp. The iconic landmarks, the brilliant level designs of the entire San Francisco world there, it's not levels, it's level, with the different characters you're able to choose, which all play the same but all have a little bit different personality. There's just something really awesome about it. And then when you take all of that and you somehow make it brilliantly fun and addictive and incredibly easy to just hop in and play at any given time, this is a palate cleanser game. This is one that you play in between sessions on something like House of the Dead or Resident Evil or massive fighting games. You just hop this in for 5 minutes, clear the palate, carry on with your day, and get back to the heavier games, because it's perfect for that. With Joe Blow, they call this the best score attack game, and I think that's accurate, because it is a score attack. It's also a race against time, so it's a countdown kind of game, but I think this is just taking categories out of the equation. It's just signature Dreamcast. It works because it's smart. It works because it's fun, and that's all that honestly should really matter, because it's a fun game that's brilliantly designed and easy to play. And that's kind of the brilliance of the title overall.
Let's go. Shut up. Move your butt.
Hey there, Space Cats! Ooh la la here, coming at you from Spaceport 9. Tonight I'm investigating reports that aliens have invaded...
When it comes to the Dreamcast, there are 2 games that really stick out to me as things that are kind of instantly memorable. And for a lot of people, they're going to be like, oh, he means Sonic Adventure. I don't mean Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure has no place on this list. It's janky. It's a really hard game to get into. It's a brilliant idea that wasn't fully realized until like a couple of generations later. But for me, the 2 are Samba de Amigo, which is so ridiculous it couldn't be anything but Sega, and Space Channel 5, which again is so ridiculous it couldn't be anything but Sega. Space Channel 5, for all intents and purposes, is Simon Says. It's Simon Says with rhythm, of course, but that doesn't make it bad. It just makes it simple, easy to understand, and fun to play. You are Ooh La La. You are going through your different space stations here because you are a reporter, and for some reason you're dressed like a go-go dancer, but there's an alien invasion, and you have to fight them with dance. And as you do, the game just moves forward. Like it's super simple to understand. It's a classic rhythm game setup with a very strange rhythm game payoff or delivery system, but I absolutely love this game. I loved it the first time I played it. It is something I still enjoy to this day. I think it is one of the greatest rhythm games ever made, and something that, at its core, like I said, is simple for anyone to grasp. It's going to tell you go up, down, left, right, shoot, shoot, shoot. And that's all you have to do. You press those buttons in the same order, and you succeed. It's Simon. It's perfect. It's fun.
I did it!
That was smooth, baby.
Please be safe, G.
It's hard for me to do a Dreamcast list and not include the typing of the dead, which is such a wackadoo concept for a game. House of the Dead is already brilliant. Like, it's a fantastic on-rails shooter, great light gun game, but how could we make that concept utterly insane? Let's toss keyboards in. And let's not just make it so that you're going to be walking around and you have to type to shoot the zombies, which you totally do, by the way. Let's make the avatars in the game have to wear a Dreamcast on their back and have a keyboard dangling from their neck to shoot with. Like, the level of weirdness, like, I can't imagine the drugs that were being used during the development of this game to come up with this concept. But you know what? It works. And it works incredibly well. Like, it's such a goofy idea that it couldn't help but be successful. For an already over-the-top Grindhouse-inspired franchise of House of the Dead to kind of lean into just the weirdness of, hey, you know what? We've got a keyboard controller available to us. What can we do with that? What dumb shit could we come up with to make a great video game? And they did. The game's escalating difficulty really kind of demonstrates what your typing capabilities are, and it for some reason doesn't feel as unfair as House of the Dead can feel at times, where you're reliant on aiming and things like that with a light gun, which can be frustrating, and it's like classic Duck Hunt, right? Like, you hit that duck, why didn't I shoot that zombie? But with Typing of the Dead, any errors that you make or any time you get hit, that's your own damn fault, because you weren't typing well. I absolutely love it. It's silly, it's stupid, but God is it fun.
James!
Amy! Harry!
Thank God you arrived.
What the hell's going on in this city?
Set in the 1980s, Shenmue follows the story of Ryu Hazuki as he sets out to avenge the murder of his father. This is such an incredible game. This is Shenmue. I didn't even introduce the game. God, Jay, you've been doing this for 6 years, man. Anyway, this is Shenmue. Shenmue is such an unbelievable game. Like, just an absolutely unbelievable game. Fantastic open world setup. Like, before we really had open world games, like, we had some, but this is the first one where we really felt like we were experiencing a city, at least in my opinion, because it wasn't just something like a Yakuza game where you were going through and you had like the open world of Tokyo. This one actually had a day-night cycle, which was really cool. The game featured a ton of different gameplay elements. So you had quick time events, you had actual like fighting stuff where you had to like fight your opponents, and so many incredible mini games throughout. Like, there's the forklift mini game, which everyone remembers fondly. There's a bunch of arcade games where you're actually able to go into an arcade and play them. Like, the biggest issue that Shenmue has today is that some of the voice acting is really dated and frankly kind of awful, but there's still something inherently charming about the game overall. And this turned into a franchise. We've had 3 Shenmue games, and I absolutely adore it. It's a fantastic game. Something that, to me, is a signature Dreamcast experience. There are other options to play it, like you can play it on modern consoles today, but it's something where, to me, that experience of playing it on the Dreamcast is the best way to play it, because there's just something incredibly charming about it running on that console. It just feels like it's made for it, I guess. And, well, I guess that's because it was, but it's a perfect experience on the Dreamcast.
Was there anything else unusual about that day?
やけどするわよ。
Challenge 1.
I think of all third-party support on the Dreamcast, the one company that gave them the most was Capcom. You can make an argument that SNK was up there as well, but Capcom put out such a huge variety of games and so many intensely signature fighting games that were just perfect for the console. Like, this is Power Stone. And again, I didn't introduce it really. I'm a bad YouTuber. This is Power Stone. It's a great game. It's an environmental fighter where you are locked into an arena with your opponent. And in Power Stone 2, you actually got to add multiple opponents to it, so it wasn't just 1v1. But I prefer Power Stone 1 just because I think it's a cleaner game, and I think it runs a little bit better than Power Stone 2 does on the Dreamcast. And I just think that magic of what you experience for the first time in Power Stone is hard to top. Both are great. You can't go wrong with either one. The characters are memorable, the gameplay concept is brilliant, the fighting mechanics are really fun. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy a game that incorporated a jump button, because that usually bothers me in fighting games, but since it's 3D and it is environment-based, it actually works really well, and it's incredibly fun. I just really enjoy this one, and everyone can turn into like this weird kind of Super Saiyan version of their character when they collect all the Power Stones. It's great. It's just a fun game. It's super easy to play and super simple to understand. This is a fighting game you introduce to people that don't play a lot of fighting games, because anyone can grasp it. It's a lot like Smash Brothers in that regard. It's very akin to that. Choo Choo Rocket is one of those games that when you look at it, it just doesn't seem like much, right? Like, when you look at it from a bird's eye view and you compare it to other games on this list, visually it's not terribly appealing. It doesn't look really compelling from a gameplay perspective. It isn't until you dive into it and you actually get hands-on with it that you realize how utterly brilliant this game is. It is at its core a puzzle game, but it's a puzzle game where you need to figure out and kind of solve a maze and direct your mice to get to the rocket before the cat can eat them. It is such an incredible title and such a simple, and I keep going back to that word, and I'm realizing that a lot. And there was something that was said about the development system for the Dreamcast that it was meant to be easier for developers to create games for. And I think that is really shown with games like Choo Choo Rocket, where it is a simple core concept, it is easy to pick up and play, it is at its basic level a button placement game. That's all it is. And it works, and it's so much fun. And I can't tell you how enjoyable it is. Like, my friend John Riggs made Choo Choo Mimic, which is his kind of take on it and that same kind of concept. And it's fantastic there, too. This game would have been at home on the NES, just like Choo Choo Mimic is. Instead, we got it on the Dreamcast, and it is such a fun experience. There's also a Game Boy Advance release, which is also wonderful. Like, this is just such a simple, enjoyable, brilliant concept that I love that Sega took a risk on this and decided to put something like this out. It really shows what they were going for with Dreamcast game releases. It's absolutely fantastic.
Shanfa versus Voldo.
At a time in the industry where we're getting things like Battle Arena Toshinden and Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha, Soul Calibur as an arena fighter stands head and shoulders above every other game in that kind of genre by being nearly perfect, if not perfect. Like, it's up there. Like, I can't fault Joe Blow for putting this as their best overall Dreamcast game, because on some days it is, in my eyes, the best overall Dreamcast game. But today it comes in at number 3. One of the things that is the most remarkable about the Soul Calibur franchise, and this is something that carries forward throughout the entirety of the history of the game, is that it has consistently looked incredible for 27 years now. When you stop and look at this footage, you realize this is a game that was released in 1999, and it is something that is just jaw-droppingly gorgeous. And that carries, like I said, carries forward to versions of the game that were released on the GameCube, released on the PlayStation 2. These still look great today, because the wizards over at Bandai Namco have some kind of alchemical system going on where their graphics are always going to be just absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. But that wouldn't matter if the gameplay wasn't fun and wasn't brilliantly well done. And for a fighting game that uses weapons to be as balanced and well thought out and well planned out as Soul Calibur is, really shows you the dedication that the team at Bandai Namco came up with. Everybody has a different weapon, everybody has a different fighting system that they use, but none of them truly feel like they have some kind of crazy advantage or crazy reach over other ones. There's advantages and disadvantages to each character, so it's an incredibly well-balanced video game, which is rare in fighting games. So frequently we get stuff where people are just like so overly skilled at someone like a Ryu or a Ken, or they're able to pull off a spinning pile driver with Zangief anytime, that it can make it unfun for other players. But each character in Soul Calibur has their weaknesses and strengths. It just makes it fun, and I absolutely adore this title, and I think that whatever they made of it and whatever they initially came up with for their core design documents for Soul Calibur should be studied, because that's the way you make a fighting game.
Strengthen the soul of
Somewhere in Asia, there's a city that cannot be found on any map called Tokyo-to, but everyone just calls it Tokyo.
This is number 2 on the list, but it's really 1B, because I can't in good conscience make this second place when I think this might be my favorite Dreamcast game. This, of course, is Jet Grind Radio. One of the most ridiculous concepts ever for a video game. You are a rollerblading street gang, and it is your job to go around and tag various parts of the city. It's a dumb concept. It's a stupid idea. But its execution and the simplicity of gameplay, while also being incredibly complex and having some truly unique kind of gameplay elements where you have to use different kind of button inputs and motion inputs using the control stick on the Dreamcast controller, show how incredibly well thought out this concept was, and built this game that could have been just a complete and utter failure and just a dumb idea and a poor execution into something absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. The soundtrack is incredible, the gameplay is wonderful, there are memorable things throughout, like memorable characters, and just ridiculous opposing gangs, and the police in the game are stupid and ridiculous. I just love this one. It is one that I really wish would have turned into a massive franchise for Sega, and I know we're supposed to be getting a new one. I know Sega is kind of revitalizing some of their retro franchises, so we should be getting a new one, like I know we're getting a new Crazy Taxi, but I am so fiercely protective of this concept of a game and this particular title that I'm worried that it's not going to be as good, and I don't know how it could be as good, but I'm still excited to see what they come up with. Number 1 overall for me, and again, this is the 1A to Jet Grind Radio's 1B, is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I have so many incredible memories of playing this game, and I can't tell you enough how much I enjoy it. It is one of my favorite fighting games of all time, if not my favorite fighting game of all time. The cast of characters is absolutely immense. The gameplay is balanced and fun. It is just over-the-top chaos from jump, and it is absolutely brilliantly, perfectly executed. One of my favorite things about this particular version of MVC2 is the character unlock system, because it wasn't just like the arcade where you just randomly unlocked characters as you played. It was just kind of, however long the cabinet was on for, more characters would be unlocked. With the Dreamcast version, you actually earn points, and you're able to purchase characters as you go, so you can actually kind of like carve your own path based on what's offered to you in the store. I really enjoy stuff like that. I really think that adds a ton of replay value to the game overall, and for something that I already put a ton of hours into and already enjoyed, to kind of put that little just amuse-bouche of customization in there to give you just that taste of it is something that I really love. And for something that I've put literally thousands of hours into, I still don't get sick of this game. It was the reason I bought the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection from Capcom on the Switch, because I wanted to have another version of this game. And as much as I love that one, it's the arcade release. The Dreamcast is still my preferred version of MVC2, and for how many hours I put into it, for how many positive memories and just amazing memories of friends that have passed away that I used to play this with. It's number one for me. Absolutely the number one overall Dreamcast video game.
In the end, the Dreamcast only sold a little over 9 million units worldwide, which makes it an utter failure in the grand scheme of things. It is something that did not succeed. It failed to launch. But it's still a console that I adore, and I think is truly one of the single greatest video game consoles of all time. It was light years ahead of its time, and the public, we weren't ready for it, but I still love it. And I know a lot of you love it too. So what are your favorite Dreamcast titles? That's what we're here to talk about. That's what I want to know. There's a hell of a library globally on that one, and I don't have the knowledge base for the PAL games and the Japanese games that I wish I did. So please do let me know what you think are the best versions of games to play from those regions. I would love to hear from you. And hey, if Sonic Adventure needs to be in your list, by all means put it on there. I want to hear your top 10. Let me know. Till next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. If you dug today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing. If you really want to help support the channel out, you can also join the Patreon or become a channel member here. And until next time, folks, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.